In Generation 1, a movie is shown on the player's television involving 4 boys walking on railroad tracks. This was probably a reference to the film Stand By Me, which is about a childhood journey, careless parents, and the strength of friendship. However, during Generation 3, this will only appear if the player is a male. If the player is a female, the television will display a girl in pigtails walking down a yellow brick road, possibly a reference to the film The Wizard of Oz. Before Pokemon Gold and Silver was released, Kanto's name was seen only once in the Japanese Generation 1 games, upon viewing the town's map at Blue's house. It was never mentioned in the Gen 1 games outside of Japan, and so many fans assumed that the region was called Indigo, based on the name of the Indigo Plateau. By the time the Pokemon remix, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green were released, Kanto's name was established and appeared regularly in-game. In the Pokemon Red and Blue beta, Pokemon Weezing was originally known as LA, representing Los Angeles polluted air, and the Pokemon Coffin was originally known as NY, representing New York City's polluted air. If this would have made it into the final version of the game, then these 2 Pokemons would have had the shortest English names. As of Generation 5, this honor is held by Muk and Mew, both of which were introduced in Generation 1. The Pokemon Amistar is the only fossil Pokemon that has been given a reason for its extinction. According to the Pokédex, an Amistar uses its tentacles to capture its prey, but over time its shell starts to grow too large, thus making its movement slow and making it harder to capture its prey. So that means because it had hard time getting its food, it starved to extinction. In Pokemon Red and Blue, there's a scientist at the Pokemon Lab in Cannibal Island who will trade a Raichu for an Electrode. If the player talks to him after the trade, he will mention that the Raichu evolved, which is not possible. This led many to believe that the Raichu was going to have an evolved form, and so when fans saw the early arts for Marill, and because it was somewhat similar to Raichu, many thought that Marill was going to be the evolved form of Raichu. The reason the scientist made this mistake was due to the original translation of the script of the Japanese Blue, in which this person traded a Graveler for a Kadabra, and the trade led both of these Pokemon to evolve. In the early 1990s, when Satoshi Tajiri first saw 2 children playing together with their Game Boys using the link cable, he imagined insects crawling along the cable between the 2 systems. As he thought about the capability of the link cable, his idea for Pokemon grew, as he wanted to give modern children the chance to hunt for creatures as he did as a child. He approached the idea to Nintendo and told them how he was inspired by the link cable. After 6 years of development, and with the help of Shigeru Miyamoto, the man behind the Mario and the Legend of Zelda series, Tajiri's dream had become reality when Pokemon Red and Green was released in 1996. Alright, that's all for this video. I'll be back with another video soon, so subscribe and stay tuned.